Dragon's Rising starts off with a merge, which introduces a plethora of new locations for our main cast of characters to explore. Admittedly, some of these locations have been better than others, so I thought it would be a good idea to rank and talk about them because I think some of them are really interesting and others not so much. Now, before I start this list, I just want to clarify something. I am not ranking the realms in Dragon's Rising, I'm ranking the major locations that we visit. This means that areas like the Crossroads and Monastery will not be ranked together as Ninjago, but will be ranked independently to show their unique qualities. Same thing applies for Land of Lost Things and Imperium City, or Kingdom of Madness and Administration. I'm doing this just so that I can highlight the unique qualities that these places have and talk about them individually, because I think lumping some of these locations together is a bit unfair because they are vastly different from one another. With that being said, let's get into the ranking. At the bottom of this list, we have Dorama's Desert from Dragon's Rising Season 2 Episode 6. This place isn't too bad in my opinion, but it's pretty boring. There really isn't much to it other than some poisonous clouds in one area of it, but I don't know man, this place doesn't really do it for me. It's just a plain desert with a stage on it, nothing too interesting. Up next we have the Kingdom of Madness, and I'm not a huge fan of this place. The first time we saw the Kingdom of Madness was in Season 1 of Ninjago Masters of Spinjitzu, and the downgrade here is pretty huge in my opinion. When we saw it in Season 1, it has an incredibly nightmarish feel to it, with reddish skies and a really cool atmosphere, but I feel like a lot of that is lost in Dragon's Rising if I'm being honest. I don't think it's a terrible location per se, but for a Realm of Madness there isn't much that's maddening about it. That's not to say it's all bad either. I think the Ancestral Mud is a really cool addition, and some of the gags with the Craglings are pretty good. But I don't know man, this place isn't really doing it for me. Up next we have the World Forest, and I'm not a huge fan of this place. In concept, it's really cool as a location. A forest having these ginormous trees with a hidden temple that's haunted by a spirit that has a bunch of secrets to the Source Dragons, these godlike figures we've only briefly met up until this point, is so cool in concept, but they just do nothing with it. We never revisit this location other than briefly in episode 11 of season 2, but the actual temple is so uninteresting. For what's supposed to be the main attraction of this location, it's so dull and doesn't have anything unique about it other than a spirit which just kind of lore dumps. I don't know, this place isn't great, I'm not a big fan. Up next we have the Mother Garden, and I think this place is a pretty cool location. The main draw to it is obviously the visuals, because beyond that it doesn't have too much going for it other than the really uncanny snail people, but it's still a pretty cool location nonetheless, and I do like the time we spend there. It's a really pretty location, and I am glad that we visited it because my god, this place is visually stunning. But other than that, I don't have anything to say on this place. The Mucois are pretty fun though, I like them quite a bit. Up next in the ranking, we have the Realm of Mysterium. We only visited this realm very briefly in Dragon's Rising Season 2, but what we got of it wasn't too impressive in my opinion. In concept, a Realm of Magic is awesome, but they don't really do too much with it outside of Gandalaria, and the bulk of the magic shenanigans don't even happen in Mysterium, they happen in the wildness. I think this realm's main issue is that it's been quite underutilized so far. I think they absolutely could have done some cool stuff with it in Dragon's Rising Season 2, but instead we got the ninja fighting the administration for 10 minutes. All in all, for a Realm of Magic, this place really doesn't do much. It's kind of just a forest with a wizard that lives there. Not super interesting, so it ranks a bit lower on my list. Following the somewhat disappointing Mysterium, we have the Sea Village from Dragon's Rising Season 1, and this place is pretty cool in my opinion. While on paper it's not the most interesting location, I'm a big fan of the fact that we really see how life operates for these algae farmers on the day-to-day, and I think the conflict here is pretty interesting. Overall, I don't have too much to say on this location because it's pretty bog standard, it's just a sea village, but I don't know, the way we really go into how it works is so cool in my opinion. Up next, we have the Lava Waste, and this place is a bit of a mixed bag for me. In theory, it's really cool to have this lava-themed village in the wildness, but in execution it falls a little bit flat due to the annoying nature of the lava tides and the fact that we don't actually see how they live their lives. All the time we spend here is just Kai and Wildfire fighting the lava tides to try and get the Dragon Core, and then Dorama just third parties them, so we don't actually see how the lava tides operate on a day-to-day. Overall, it's a cool location in theory, but they don't really do anything with it, similar to Mysterium, so I can't really put it any higher on the list. On the topic of missed potential, we have the Forest of Spirits, and I think this is the most disappointing Dragon's Rising location so far. While both the Lava Wastes and the Forest of Spirits are part of Chima, we never actually see anything from Chima in either of these locations. This reflects more onto the Forest of Spirits though, because this is where we get introduced to the Chima connection, and they just don't do anything with it, man. I think it's a problem with the wildness as a whole that the Ninjago writers don't seem to be interested in actually addressing Chima in any meaningful way beyond just the Forever Rock, and it's a shame because I think a lot of the locations and concepts from Chima are awesome. If Raz doesn't huff any chi at all in Dragon's Rising, I'm going to be so disappointed, man. On to what we actually get for the Forest of Spirits, it isn't too impressive. The Shadow Dojo is an awesome location and absolutely the highlight of this place, but other than that, there isn't too much here. The only other important location is the magical storehouse that Gandalaria takes Zane and Cole to, but this place is kind of boring in my opinion. But that might just be due to the fact that the actual episodes we spend there isn't that interesting. I don't know, not a huge fan of this place as a whole, and I think the actual Forest of Spirits is super disappointing beyond the Shadow Dojo. Real shame too, because I was really excited to see the Chima connection in this season, but they've just done nothing with it so far. Our next location on this list is Egolta Rontu's training plateau, and this place is awesome. I don't have too much to say on this place because we don't spend too much time here in terms of learning how the location works, because it doesn't have too many unique properties, but man, the actual atmosphere here is just immaculate. It has such an eerie and mysterious vibe, and it really adds to the atmosphere of Dragon's Rising Season 2. Just an awesome location all around. I love this place. Up next on this list, we have Cloud Kingdom, and I am a big fan of this place. While I do think some of the lore around it is a bit janky, because we still don't know exactly how the Writers of Destiny work, we have at least retconned the terrible plot thread that the Writers of Destiny control absolutely everything, meaning that no one in Ninjago has any free will. Dragon's Rising went out of its way to retcon this, and I am so happy they made this choice. While the lore is still a bit messy when it comes to Cloud Kingdom, I would take that over our characters having no free will any day of the week. That aside, I'm a really big fan of some of the additions they've made to Cloud Kingdom for Dragon's Rising. My favourite addition has probably been the Cloud Kingdom Archives. It's a really cool concept, and I really like how it's been executed in the story so far, not just being a plot device for our characters to get information. I do hope we revisit it in the future though, because I think it has some really cool implications, and I think it has a lot of potential behind it. Overall, I am a huge fan of the Dragon's Rising Cloud Kingdom, and I am so happy we revisited it. It's just such an awesome location, I love it so much. Up next on this list we have the Monastery, and my god, I adore this place. The changes they made to it for Dragon's Rising are so cool, man. I absolutely love how we have underground dragon stables now. It feels very reminiscent of the very first season of the show, and the fresh coat of paint on this place is just awesome. This place is so visually appealing to me, man. The lore implications of it also having a portal gate that connects to several other monasteries is also just really cool, and I'm so excited to see how that's explored in future Dragon's Rising installments. Don't have too much to say on it because it is the same monastery we've been to a million times, but it's a really cool location nonetheless, and it is absolutely a favourite of mine. Absolutely awesome location, I love this place. Following the monastery, we have the Tournament Temple City, and I adore this location. In concept, an entire city being dedicated to worshipping the Source Dragons is so cool, and it being the home of a tournament is even cooler. The moving arena for the games is absolutely awesome. I think it gave some really nice variety to them, and just the pure visuals of the city are absolutely amazing. This place feels so lived in and fleshed out because we have so many different locations, like the Ninja's Quarters, Raz's Quarters, our whole museum dedicated to past winners. I don't know, man, this place just has it all and I love it. Really hope we revisit it in future Dragon's Rising installments because I just love this location so much. I have nothing wrong with it, really. Up next, we have the Land of Lost Things, and I think this is one of the best locations in the entire Ninjago franchise. In theory, this place being a massive dump for everything that people tend to forget, such as car keys or socks, or hell, even somehow shipping containers, which is really funny, is so interesting in my opinion. This place is also populated by a group called the Finders, and the fact that these guys are essentially a spin of a found family trope that Ninjago has been doing for so long is absolutely amazing. Whereas the ninja came together because they were all superpowered individuals, these guys came together because they were all forgotten by the world, and I think that's awesome and super wholesome. Overall, I just love this location. It has such a cool amount of stuff to offer, and I really hope we revisit it because I love going to this place. Breaking into our top 3, we have the Administration, and I think this is an absolute all-timer location. Earlier I criticised the Kingdom of Madness for not having anything particularly maddening about it. I think the sheer organisation and amount of paperwork the Administration has is absolutely maddening, and I love it. It's such a cool spin on the take of madness because they're so organised to a point where you can classify it as insanity. The amount of stuff this place has is absolutely awesome as well. I'm a big fan of the Department of Realm Reassignment. It's such a cool idea, and I think the way it's tied into the story of Aaron trying to find his parents is absolutely amazing. Awesome, awesome location, man. I genuinely love the administration so much. And for the runner-up on this list, we have the Crossroads. This location is absolutely amazing and one of my all-time favourites of Ninjago, but it isn't first place because I do have one criticism of it, which I'll get to later. For now though, I think the Crossroads is absolutely amazing. The fact that it's just a massive melting pot for all of the merged realms is so cool in concept, and I absolutely love how this place looks like a combination of every single realm we've visited so far. And the fact that we see so many different cultures come together like this is just so cool for Ninjago. My one criticism with this place though is that I feel like it has way too many of the same character models. Like the people in here just have one outfit that I feel like they all have, being like the Prime Empire look. And I really don't like that. It does make the place feel a bit samey at times. But other than that, this is an absolutely awesome location and absolutely deserves to be the runner-up on this list. And the location that gets the title of Best Location of Dragon's Rising is the City of Imperium. This place is absolutely amazing. I adore this location. The fact that we dedicate so much time to seeing how life is lived in the City of Imperium really pays off in my opinion. By the end of the season, we get such an in-depth knowledge about how life is lived here and how far the Empress is willing to go to keep her power. The story that's told here with Sora overcoming her self-doubt as well to rise up against Imperium is just so good. There's not much I can really say negative about this location. We really spend so much time here and we really get to know how it works. I love everything to do with the City of Imperium, and it is absolutely worthy of being crowned the best location in Ninjago Dragon's Rising. Anyways, that's all I have to say for this video, but how about you guys let me know what you think of some of these Dragon's Rising locations. Thank you to everyone who's watched this video, and if you did enjoy, please do consider liking and subscribing. It would do a lot to support me and the channel, and it would be greatly appreciated. The support I've gotten is unreal so far, and I genuinely cannot thank you guys enough. Anyways, that's everything from me for now, so I will see you in the next one.